Hey guys, so I just opened up this PR package from NATASHA DENONA that contains her new crease-proof serum concealer. I am very, very excited. There is a whole big guide in here, which I will try and summarize and sum up for you, but you know, all of the 50 shades and how she talks about, well, basically like the formula and also how to match the concealer to your skin tone, depending on your overtones and your undertones. So we'll go through that quickly because I want to get to the full day wear test. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be figuring out what is my correct shade. I don't believe she sent all 50 to me because I don't think that would make sense. However, she did send quite a few. So she sent me 16 shades and okay, before I kind of dive into what she got me and kind of figuring out what shade works for me, let me talk a little bit about this concealer. It really seems to be the perfect concealer by the way she describes it. So it's supposed to brighten dark circles, reduce puffiness, blur the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles after 28 days of daily use. So this is a serum concealer, and so there's skincare benefits in here. It's a long-lasting creaseless concealer. It has a weightless natural look. It's a medium buildable coverage with a luminous matte finish. So like I said, it just sounds like it's for everyone and every taste out there. So there's 50 concealer shades in 4 undertones and 6 corrector shades. So by looking at this picture here, let me get it as close as possible. Here we go. It looks like we've got all the shades here, and then at the very end here, we've got the 6 corrector shades. So to discover your perfect match, there's 3 ways. You can take Natasha's shade finding quiz. I believe that's on her site. You can watch Natasha's full video guide, which I believe is also on her site and also on her YouTube channel. Or you can use the shade finder to discover your ideal match by using your current concealer shade. So she also has a note here about like application, and she has a pro tip. Let's refer back to that once I've figured out what my shade is. So she has sent over N1 through 4, which I think I'm gonna be able to find my shade in here somewhere. And then she sent over the lightest P shades, which is P for peach. And then she sent over 3 of the R shades. So there's R for rosy, and then there's RN for, I believe, rosy neutral. So she really gets in there. I mean, I guess with 50 shades, there's just a lot of like over and undertone mixing. And then she also sent over 5 Y shades. Some have YP in there, which I believe is a yellow peach shade, and then just the plain Y is yellow. So she didn't send over any of the corrector shades, which is fine. I don't actually have that much discoloration underneath my eyes. I have a little bit. I don't have any foundation or concealer, obviously, or any base down, except for my skincare, because I really wanted to use these concealers kind of on bare skin so we can get the best sense of it. So you can see that I have, my lights are really nice and bright, but I have like just a little bit of sallowness under my eyes, but I don't really have like deep, dark circles under my eyes, the ones that are like very bluish purple. So I don't generally use a corrector underneath my eyes. So it's actually perfect that she didn't send me any, but I am pretty sure, and what I usually go for is neutral because I don't need a lot of correcting. So she sent me N1 through N4, and I'm just looking at the card here. I think N1 may be a little bit too light for me. So I'm actually gonna start with N3. Here is the packaging. So it's actually rectangular. So it's flatter, wider on this side. The front is a little bit more narrow. This cap is rubberized. It feels really nice. This is a plastic, and there is, I think you can see it in there, there's like a hollow reservoir in there. So this one is, what did I say, N3? So there is N3. Wow, okay, that may actually look a little bit deep. Let me take a look at N2. Here is N2. Oh yeah, that may actually be better for me. So there's N2, there is N3. Just for the heck of it, since we have it, let me go ahead and swatch N1. That may work for me too. So there is N1. This could be good in the colder months when I'm definitely less tan. So N1, N2, N3, and then let's just take a look at N4. I really don't want to open these up if I'm not going to use them. I'm going to swatch N4. Okay, here is N4. Oh, how interesting. So this one is N4. I almost feel like it's lighter than N3. So N1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna let these dry down a little bit because you know how the shade looks a little bit deeper when it's wet, almost like when you're painting your wall. These have pretty high coverage too. I still think 4 looks a little bit lighter than 3. Very interesting. All right, so I'm gonna try N2. That's where I'm gonna start. And I'm going to take a look at some of these application tips here. Use the flat side of the applicator when applying under the eye and large areas of the face for fuller coverage. For spot concealing, use the pointed tip of the applicator and blend with a makeup sponge, foundation brush, or a clean finger. The versatility of the Hy-Glam concealer and corrector allows for use with or without primer, before or after foundation, and with or without powder, which is awesome because if I don't need to use powder, I try to avoid it because I have very dry skin. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and apply N2, and I am going to use the flat side of the applicator. I'm just going to apply a little bit. I'm going to start there. And I'm going to use the BK Beauty 109 brush. This is like the 101 brush, but a little bit smaller, which I think is perfect for under the eye. So I'm going to use this to blend in. I think the coverage is more than just medium. I would say this is close to a high. It is really, I mean, for the amount that I used, that's a lot of coverage. Okay, so that is N2. I do feel like it's a little bit brightening. I may want to try N3 over here just to see what that looks like. So I'm going to let this kind of set down before I take a close look. I'm going to use N3, which is this guy on my hand. So it is deeper than N2. And now that N4 is completely set down, it does look, yeah, it does look a little bit deeper than N3. Okay, thought I had discovered something there, but no, we're good, we're good. It does progressively get deeper. Okay, I'm gonna use a clean brush. This is the Refer 36 brush. And I'm gonna just press that in. I think also if you wanted a sheer coverage, you could probably use like a wet sponge, but you'll get a fuller coverage with your fingers and with a brush. Okay, so there is N3. Yeah, now you can see how much more brightening the N2 is. So the N3, for my skin tone, if you use me as reference, I think is very natural. But this is if you need a little bit of like illumination, I would say a little radiance underneath the eye. You get a little bit of like a highlight tone there. All right, I'm just gonna lean into my mirror, which is up here. I'm gonna use the magnifying side. Let's see what we see. It looks very moisturizing. I can see kind of what she means by like a luminous matte. I think it just has sort of like a demi satin kind of finish. It doesn't look dry, basically. And so far, I don't see any sort of like sinking into lines. I don't see it just sort of like sitting on top of my skin, which a lot of concealers do. It just sort of looks like it's not really like blending in really seamlessly. This definitely is blending in very seamlessly. All right, so far so good. I do want to try and cover up some spots that I have on my cheeks, like I have these sunspots here. And I'm going to use a different shade because I do want to like cover these up. And according to this little chart here that she has, I think what I want to use is like a yellow undertone, because if you're trying to cover something like this up, which I'm guessing, because this doesn't have any blues or purples in it, it's much more of like an olivey green kind of tone, these spots, but I want to use something yellow. I do have Y1, Y2, and Y4, and then I have YP3. So let's try Y2. Oh yes, you can definitely see the yellow in here. Let me just hold this up next to a neutral. So actually, let me do this. So this is a yellow and this is a neutral. So here's N2, here's Y2. Wow. I mean, yes, these undertones are labeled properly. I'm so tired of getting foundations where they're like, this is for yellow undertone. And I'm like, why is this like a pinky peach? I don't know. Anyway, that is Y2. And then let me try YP3. Yeah, there's no Y3. It's just YP3. So there's YP3, which needs to dry down. I think I'm gonna go with Y2. Let's give that a shot. So I don't think I've ever used a yellow-based concealer for these spots. So I am really interested to see if this works. Okay, I need to find another clean brush. Oh, here we go. I did just clean this one off. This is my Trish McAvoy Deluxe Blender. Just gonna work this in. I'm just gonna pounce because I want like the high coverage over those spots. I don't really want to shear it out too much. That coverage is high. I think it's high. I think it's definitely a medium high, and the fact that it's buildable, I think that's a little light for me. Let me go to, what did I just do? I just did Y2, so let me try the YP3. Wow, okay, that blended out beautifully. And look at that coverage. Impressed so far. All right, now that the shades have sort of set down underneath my eyes, here is number 2, and then this one was number 3. Yeah, this one just appears more natural, and then this one has that kind of like highlighted quality underneath. I think that's pretty much remained the same. I'm really impressed with this situation though. It's really nice. Okay, so how am I gonna do this wear test? I really wanna keep an eye on this. I mean, I guess I don't have to put on any other makeup. I don't have to put on any other foundation. And I'm not gonna powder because I do wanna see how this wears without powder, since she does state specifically that you can use with or without powder. So I am very, very curious. All right, well, I'm gonna zoom in here just so you guys can see the under eye situation, right? It looks really good, no sinking into fine lines. Blended out beautifully. It doesn't look too thick. It's not sitting on top of my skin. And then here is a close-up of this area where I have those really big sunspots. And the coverage is really nice. You can get a really good sense of the coverage here. All right, let's also do a really quick look at this in natural light. It's a little bit more telling than this really nice studio lighting that I have. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, here is a look at the concealer in natural light. I'm just standing in front of a window right now. And here's where I use the yellow shades on my sunspots. I think it looks really good. I think what I like about this is it doesn't look heavy or thick despite having really, really good coverage. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this wears throughout the day. But so far, so good. All right, well, since I don't have to be anywhere and I really want to test out this concealer, I'm not gonna put on any other makeup. I know I look a little bit crazy, but I'm not gonna put on any other makeup. I don't want foundation to like interfere with this first wear test of mine, and yeah, I'm not really going anywhere. So I'm just gonna leave it here, but I'll be back in a few hours to do a midday checkout. Oh, let me tell you what time it is. It is 8 in the morning. So I'll probably have this on for maybe 8 or 9 hours. Yeah, but I'll be back like midday just to show you what it looks like kind of halfway through. Hello, everyone. We are going outside. I think staying in the shade is probably best. Yeah, otherwise it's gonna be too blown out anyway. So it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and everything is looking really good. Dare I say, I think it looks better now than it did when I first put it on. Like, it's really become one with my skin. Look how smooth that looks. Hello. Maybe a new favorite concealer. And then here where my sunspots are. Nice. I haven't really been touching my face. I was gonna say it hasn't like worn away, but there's no reason why it should have, because I haven't really gone out. I haven't been touching my face. So yeah, it should still be there. Looks good. Yes. All right. How long has it been? It's been 6 hours now. Loving it. All right, let's take a look at how this looks at the end of the day. Hey guys, it is about 5:30 in the afternoon. So I've had this on for about 8.5, is that right? No, 9, hold on, 9.5 hours because I put this on at about 8. And you know, it's still there, which is good. So longevity wise, it is, you know, still visible. However, I feel like it's accentuating my fine lines a little bit. And I did go out this afternoon, I did run a few errands, and also please keep in mind, I don't have any foundation on, I don't have any powder over the concealer or anything. She does mention, NATASHA DENONA does mention in her card that you can wear this, you know, under, over foundation, with or without powder, etc. So I do just wanna mention that I don't have foundation and I don't have powder down again. But yeah, I do feel like my under eyes look a little wrinkly, a little crinkly. I'm gonna zoom in here. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's a little bit tough with the lighting here. Maybe I'll turn down the lighting a little bit. And so that is not great. And I wish I could tell you when this started happening, because when was my check-in? What, after about 6 hours, and now it's been about 9.5. After 6 hours, I thought it looked great. So somewhere between 6 hours and 9.5 hours of wear, this is what happened. So yeah, just a little wrinkly under my eyes. And in terms of covering up my sunspots, I do feel like it's worn off a little bit. Again, no powder or anything, but I do feel like my sunspots are a little bit more visible right here. A little bit more visible, so there is a little bit of wearing away. I do live in Las Vegas. It is generally very, very warm here, but today was actually a very lovely day. It was not that warm, slightly breezy, so I don't feel especially sweaty. I wanted to mention that also because I think that's really important when it comes to like a wear test. Not very sweaty, low 80s, just really comfortable day outside. So I think my final thoughts are this is a very nice concealer, but it's not my favorite. I don't think that it performs as well as the Dior. I don't think it performs as well as the Tom Ford stick, the Clé de Peau stick, the Chanel corrector. That one I think also wears a little bit better than this one. And again, for me, it's just those little wrinkles there. So a decent concealer, but definitely not up there for me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you've purchased this concealer and you've done a little wear test, let us know your thoughts. This is, again, just on my skin. I have very, very dry skin. So yeah, share with us your experience and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.